This region.
This region?
Someone's mouth makes me think naughty thoughts. That could be you.
That's gotta be yours.
No.
Jess Chastain's got a pretty sensual mouth, I think, as do you.
You have such a nice mouth.
Thanks, lady.
It's me!
Oh!
That was James McAvoy's
James
mouth?
McAvoy's mouth makes people think nasty thoughts.
I just think his mouth looks nasty. I'm kidding.
New love of my life. Here he is.
Simon Kinberg.
Cute.
Fassy.
Yeah.
Hey! I just thought because Simon's got a new haircut.
Okay.
She's got this super magic smile, and when she smiles at you, everything gets better.
Obviously, they're talking about Alexandra Shipp, aka Storm, aka Ororo.
Jess.
Oh!
Oh.
Come on!
You do have a lovely smile and a lovely mouth. Everything in this region is just...
This region.
This region? Ooh. She is everything.
Lots of emojis.
Jessica Chastain.
Storm?
No, it's
That was
Sophie.
me!
Oh, shit.
Damn it, Sophie.
I agree. She is everything.
Thanks, Sophie Fan Belfast.
Blank is not on Twitter.
Why am I on Twitter?
Blank.
Hashtag is my purpose.
Jennifer Lawrence is not on Twitter.
Michael doesn't have a Twitter. James doesn't have a Twitter. Who else doesn't have Twitter?
James McAvoy, I would say, is
So
not
James
on
Margaret
Twitter.
Do you tweet? Do you twit? Do you twerk?
I have a Twitter, I do not tweet.
It's McAvoy.
It's me, it is
Okay,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Blank is art.
Who could it be?
Nicholas Hoult.
Gentleman, maybe.
A gentleman.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Evan Peters.
Yes.
Evan Peters is art.
Evan Peters.
Yes.
Whoa!
Evan
is art.
Peters, he is art. Blank is another of my favorite characters. It is hard not to love her. It says
Finally!
Storm.
Finally, they're
Storm's coming.
talking
Hard
about
not
me.
to love her.
I mean, we know who this is
All right,
about.
the bangs are back, and I'm very happy about it. With a little, like, redhead. Oh, that's the Dark Phoenix emoji.
Oh, well, it's Jessica.
Yeah, bangs are back.
I love the bangs.
Bitch, like Britney.
It's bangs,
Did I
bitch.
hit you? We pranked Mac Attack.
We did. Prank Mac
Grumpy
Attack.
Pants. You know, have you ever seen the Grumpy Cat pictures?
R.I.P. He died recently, the grumpy cat.
Oh my god.
I know. Died the other day.
Oh, wow. Well, James
But
McAvoy
James
can
is
take
like the
over
reincarnation.
the Instagram.
I got marionetted into dancing the Macarena because Jessica Chastain thinks she's hilarious.
There's a lot of practical jokers on these sets, and believe it or not, the most dangerous practical joker, meaning like just fearless and ruthless, is Jessica Chastain. She's a maniac.
And I thought it was very, very funny until, you know, for about 10 seconds, and then, you know, the harness is digging into your private bits and your pinky bits are getting black and blue, so it wasn't, I stopped smiling after a wee while.
He was grumpy one day, so we made him, he was on wires, so we made him, against his will, dance the Macarena.
And we had a moment too right before it. So I remember Sophie and I talking and going, should we do this? Is he gonna be really upset? But he wasn't, and he was fine.
It was the best decision.
And it lightened him up for the rest of the movie.
It did.
We had wires on all of his body parts that are being controlled by people pulling those wires. So he's being puppeteered like this.
I was just copying Soph. She knew them perfectly. I think that's her go-to dance move. Hey, Macarena. Ah.
I wasn't present, but it's become my most memorable moment too, because in my imagination, I see it. So like with the pain, I can see you going, "Hey, Macarena,
Hey, Macarena,
hey."
hi.
So they think you're like,
Hi.
so they think you're like joining in, but actually you're screaming in pain.
Everyone's sitting in the X-Jet when we're on our way to space. We filmed that for a few days straight just because there was so much that went into it and it was very intricate to shoot. After like the first hour, you get a little stir crazy because they lock us in the actual X-Jet because it's so up to scale. Our set decks are incredible. So you get a little crazy in there. You get a little cabin fever. You start cracking jokes, making little funny videos. Ty's always got a book on him. He's getting some reads in.
They had built 3 or 4 train cars inside of on a stage. You know, we were in there shooting for several weeks, and yeah, there's a lot of choreography and stunts that go into it. A lot of practical, you know, stunts, but also the sets being practical is super helpful when you're performing.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, she just does that. And I kind of do the same, don't I?
You go like this.
I go, and then I go.
It was a pretty practical set. There was a lot of moving bits. There's a bit where, what's his face? Cyclops has to blow open some stuff, some doors and stuff. You've got to blow the doors off. And we were very close to it and it was all real. That was very exciting. There was a lot of real stuff going on. Yeah, good answer.
We built that train, all those train cars, in a soundstage on a rig that moved like a train car would move. It's all practical and real. I tried as hard as possible within this movie to whenever possible, make things real. I wanted the tone of the movie to be more raw. A different sequence, as an example, when Jean and Magneto are fighting over a helicopter. That's a helicopter, a real helicopter that was strung between 2 crane arms with a cable between it that could hold a 4,000-pound helicopter with 12 men jumping onto a remote control massive helicopter. The scene where Magneto walks through or charges through the door with a subway car behind him, that is a real subway car on a rig with explosives in the doors and walls around him that are exploding as the subway car is coming in or behind him. So for the finale sequence, pretty much all of it in the train and on top of the train is real with some background plates. And then obviously once it gets lifted up off the train tracks, that I could not do in real life.
Are you up for joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the new phase and maybe like taking
you
on...
are. You've got that
I've
Thor.
got that Thor.
Jean Grey Thor movies.
We're kidding.
MTV, we got you guys.
Yeah, I'd like to do a crossover with the Avengers, sure. Probably Tony Stark, if that was possible.
Well, he's got an idea about a fishing spin-off.
Yeah, which
for Cherick.
Yeah, so Charles and Eric just go to various places in the world looking for obscure fish.
Yeah. I'd hang out with Rocket, blow some stuff up.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, they're pretty cool.
Seems like a super fun world.
Yeah, they're fun guys. I want to hang out with them for sure.
I feel like Groot and I have a lot in common. He's just kind of like this sweet character, but also really powerful. I am Groot.
Listen, I don't know what the new phase will be. I certainly approached this movie from the very beginning, long before Disney, as the sort of culmination of this cycle of X-Men storytelling that we started 20 years ago, but especially 10 years ago with the X-Men First Class. The X-Men First Class movie was really about, you know, these strangers that came together and formed a family, and that family has been challenged over the years, but they've been fighting against villains and for the most part been aligned. And this movie rips that family apart and then ultimately sort of forms them back together. So I saw this as the climax, the culmination of the journey we've been on with these characters that we love. And I wasn't really thinking, even though I've been the sort of architect of this universe at Fox, I wasn't really thinking much past this film because I really wanted to immerse myself as the director in the making of the movie. But as someone that grew up reading X-Men comics and, you know, they live in the Marvel universe and they, you know, fight with and for the Avengers and all that, I'd love to see what configurations will come in the future.
X-Men.
Yeah, it's no contest.
I mean, it's not a contest.
Well, there's literally millions of mutants in the X-Men universe, and there seems to be only a couple of, like a handful of super people in the Avengers world, isn't there?
Power in numbers.
Power in numbers, I think. I think the mutants are more moderately powered. None of them have got like lightning and flying and super strength and all that kind of stuff. They've got like, I've got pointy fingernails. That's it. But I think in sheer numbers, they might do the job.
X-Men?
Yeah, for sure.
Duh.
If Quicksilver's there, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take them all down.
Well, I'm biased toward the X-Men, obviously, but I think it'll be a really good battle.
I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I'm going to. I'm gonna sort of watch it now that it's complete, and I don't have to wait for next season. That's kind of how I like to do these sort of box sets.
She's so good at dodging those things. You're like, what's gonna happen with Sans? And she's like, I don't know. And you're just like, nothing. She's so good.
I wish the people that were spending so much time writing a petition would actually spend that same amount of time to defend women's rights in states that they're trying to take them away.
Absolutely.